Andy Burnham, Mayor of Greater Manchester, with us now. Hello to you, Mr Burnham. Thanks for joining us. Do you think that Rishi Sunak's a socialist?
No, certainly not. He's in the newspapers today saying that he will govern like Margaret Thatcher if he's elected leader. Margaret Thatcher laid the north of England low when she was in government. So I think we could confidently say that levelling up will be dead if he's elected and continues to put that kind of approach forward. So I just think we're looking at a leadership campaign at the moment, though, that is a bit farcical, as your business editor said yesterday. There are two major crises facing the country, the cost of living crisis and the NHS crisis, with all ambulance trusts now on black alert. What are these leadership candidates saying about both of those things? They're in a comfort zone and they're not addressing the issues that are right there in front of the country and that this person will walk into office and have to deal with from day one. So this contest, I'm afraid, is not serious at the moment. And all of them need to put aside the sort of the gimmicks and the jibes at each other and set out how they will deal with the serious issues facing the country from day one.
Do you have any sympathy for Grant Shapps? Because you've been in that position, haven't you, where you've wanted to run and be the leader and it's not come off. It is, as I said, brutal.
Oh, I do. It is a brutal process, but that is politics. And people are putting themselves forward to run the country. So you can expect it to be brutal because you have to be tested. And as I said, I don't think these candidates are being properly tested. The Conservative Party has to do a job for the country. It has to make these people say, what will you do day one in office to deal with the NHS crisis? Now, Kay, correct me if I'm wrong, but has any of these candidates talked properly about the NHS over the last few days? I've not heard it. And here we are in the middle of summer with all ambulance services on black alert. What does that mean for the winter in the National Health Service? None of them have anything to say about it. So how can they walk in and be Prime Minister in those circumstances? They have to be challenged. I think it's revealing today that none of the above comes out top when the public were asked who they want, which suggests it's hardly capturing their imagination. And it even comes joint second amongst Tory members. They're saying none of the above. You know, they have to seriously raise their game if they are genuine about wanting to lead this country in a couple of months' time. Yeah.
We are planning our leadership debate actually on Monday. Why is it that politicians are always cautious about doing debates?
Well, to me, I mean, you referenced Labour leadership elections. I mean, I have had experience of leadership elections, as you say. To me, this feels like a party that wants to go into opposition. It feels as though it's in its comfort zone, playing to the culture war issues, but not actually addressing the things that are affecting people up and down the country. Your viewers, Kay, this morning, who are worrying about their finances, who are worrying about the position in the NHS, this party is not dealing with those issues. It's in its own little world, talking to itself. And it feels to me as though it's a party heading into opposition. And actually, I mentioned Rishi Sunak a moment ago. If I look at the policies of all of them, levelling up will be dead in the water at the end of this Tory leadership campaign, because they are all talking about major tax cuts and a much smaller state. You can't put that forward and then be serious about levelling up the country and levelling up the north of England. So I would say, if that is where we end up at the end of this leadership election, there has to be a general election, because that is a major change from the manifesto on which all of these people were elected in 2019.
Mr Mayor, talk to me about, I don't know if you heard me talking about that young lad, Alfie, who went swimming in a canal and drowned. What would you say to the people in the Northwest, particularly in Greater Manchester this morning? Because we hear about these stories every summer, don't we?
Heartbreaking is the only thing I could think, really, when I saw his picture, and you just imagine what his parents, his family, his friends are going through. We've had something similar here over recent times, Kay. There was a young man who sadly died in Salford Quays last year when he jumped in after a game of football. So we know what friends will be going through in West Yorkshire this morning. You know, over the last 5 years, around just under 50 people have died. Greater Manchester Fire has been called to 43 fatalities, I think. And across the country, I think there were around about 160 deaths last summer. So an even hotter summer, it could be worse. Here in Greater Manchester, we have launched our cold water campaign. And we have been warning about the dangers from June, actually, because it's the shock that can cause the fatality, where people go into, even though it's hot outside, people will go into cold water in a reservoir or in a canal, and it's the shock to the body that causes the problem. So it's helpful, I guess, for me to be able to say that on your programme this morning, Kate. Please look up those campaigns, please promote them amongst family and friends. Certainly, as we go through the next few days, we need to be very vigilant.
OK. Thank you, Mr Mayor, as always. Much appreciated.
Thanks very much, Kate.